Hi, Sexy. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This is Anti-Aging Sensuality. I'm Dr. Lee Moore, your friendly sex and relationship counselor and therapist. And today I want to touch a subject that has been sent to me as a question from numerous people, and it all has to do with gender differences. The question was this. Let's just start and say. So the person asking was a woman, and she's saying she preferred to stay anonymous. And she stated that her husband is always not really paying attention to her and to what she's saying. So, for instance, if she's talking to him about something and then later um, relates to what she said, usually it's something that he doesn't remember or doesn't recall details, and it appears as if he doesn't really listen to what she speaks about when she talks to him. So she was trying to investigate, rather, if this is a gender thing or is this something individual to her and her husband and something that needs to work on. And she specifically asked, is there a difference in attention when it comes to men and women? Is there a difference that is sourced in our gender? And that's a very interesting question that I'm certain that a lot of you are asking in heterosexual relationships, because we come across differences in attention span. Sometimes it has nothing to do with gender, and sometimes it does. So I went and investigated and kind of found a few studies that have to do with this specific question. But I wanted to bring a very interesting one today that had to do with a very large cohort that collected information from 16,000 participants ages from 10 to 70. So we have the whole range of life, and from 41 countries around the world. And they collected all this information and wanted to examine if there is a difference that is based on gender and is sourced in gender differences when it comes to attention. So what the study went this way. It was a long study, and as I said, it collected information from so many people. It took a while to gather the information and dissect it. But the idea was this. They took the participants and showed them, screened them, images of landscape. Mostly it was city-based, things that are more urban. And then it was interlaced with images of mountains. And what the participants were supposed to do, either men or women or girls and boys for that matter, because we have a very young age as well participating in this study, they wanted them to press the button only when they showed images of city, not of mountains. And they collected the whole information and tried to, in other words, if you press the button when it shows a mountain, it's an error. So they collected this information, dissected it, and analyzed it for a long period of time. And what they found in general was that there is a difference that emerges. There is a difference, first of all, but the difference is so minimal and so redundant when it comes to men and women when they come from countries that are developed and there's a minimal gender inequality. So in other words, in countries that we see a gender equality that is very high in score, for instance, Finland, New Zealand, and many other Western countries, the differences between men and women when it comes to attention is very minimal. It's non-existent almost, and you can't really relate to it as a problem or a difference. But when it comes to countries that the inequality between genders is very high, you see a very different score between men and women. How did they really kind of achieve this information? So what they found is that in countries that are showing a lot of inequality, like third world countries or countries that women don't have any rights and other factors that we're not going to get into because it's very large information and very vast. But in these countries, what they found from the data is that women refrained from making an error. And this stemmed, according to the researchers, probably from the idea of not speaking up or from the fear of making a mistake. So oftentimes in this study and in this investigation that they created, the women they were sitting in front of the screens when they saw a city image and they were supposed to press it, if they weren't sure, they weren't pressing it. On the other hand, men were overcalling it. They were pressing it even if it was wrong. And it stemmed from the same idea that men are not making mistakes and they're not afraid to speak up. And if they are making mistakes, it's okay. There's no harm. So that was the general idea behind this study, that there is a difference in attention, or there is a difference in kind of relating to what the other one is screening to you or saying to you, or in other words, the information that is coming to you is being responded to in almost the same way if we're coming from a general gender equality, but it's very different if we're coming from places that were very different and there's no equality between us. So to your question, dear participant that is asking this question and everybody else, there is a form of difference between genders when it comes to attention. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the gender, because as we saw in places that the gender equality was high, we didn't see any significant difference. But we are keeping in mind that people come from different cultures, from different habits, from different abilities to negotiate these habits. And so there probably is a difference when we put it to the test. We just need to investigate it. And of course, communication is key, as I always say. Try to get into some form of equality between you, even if one of you is coming from a different background. So hopefully this helps. I enjoyed being here with you. This is a beautiful sunny day, and I'm hoping where you are, it's wonderful and beautiful as well. Please come back, send your questions. I enjoy them very much. And as always, stay sexy and subscribe. I'll be seeing you here very soon. Bye-bye.